All right, welcome to the Week 7 Forum. If intelligence is about using secrets to create decision advantages for a nation's political leaders, counterintelligence is the games within games aspect of intelligence. This is what people write books about, right? 10 of the agencies within the intelligence community have some kind of counterintelligence infrastructure, but the FBI is considered to be the lead agency. So as you read this chapter, why is it that the FBI is the primary counterintelligence agency? In what way is counterintelligence similar to the FBI's chief responsibility, which is to act as the nation's premier law enforcement agency? Does the fact that they have so much experience penetrating organized crime give them some unique insight? Is the FBI adequately trained these days and sourced to engage in counterintelligence? Another issue I think is really interesting, is the challenge that the intelligence community as a whole confronts in ensuring that they haven't recruited and placed a foreign double agent in their midst. This is, of course, innately related to the short writing assignment about Kim Philby's defection to the Soviet Union after acting as a double agent since probably the mid-1930s. This is clearly one of the paramount concerns of the intelligence community. What do intelligence managers do to prevent those kinds of penetrations? Is the United States as vulnerable to that kind of thing as Britain was back in the 1930s? Based on what you know about the double agents that we have learned about over the course of the chapter, what are the principal reasons for those kinds of defections? What of the four things that Lowenthal lists, which of them, greed, ideology, loyalty, betrayal, what's the most likely rationale? What kind of defector is most likely to produce a truly dangerous double agent? Another central issue related to counterintelligence is compartmentalization. How does compartmentalization help to minimize the threats posed by double agents penetrating the intelligence community? What problems does excessive compartmentalization create? How does the intelligence community try to manage compartmentalization in such a way that the intelligence agencies are nevertheless able to share intelligence without disseminating it too widely so that a successful penetration would lead to a significant betrayal? How do different need to share, responsibility to share, how do these kinds of standards reflect the difficulty of maintaining this balance, right, between the ability to coordinate versus the need for compartmentalization? How has the intelligence community reacted to the latest intelligence penetration by Edward Snowden? What about Snowden put him in a position to do so much damage to the intelligence community? In what way is his betrayal really distinct from what Philby was able to do? What kinds of accountability policies has the intelligence community put in place to ensure that technology managers like Snowden, tech people, aren't able to catch huge amounts of intelligence and then abscond with them? What role does classification play in preventing espionage? What is the potential of classification for abuse in the form of shielding politically embarrassing mistakes or incompetence from public view? The intelligence community hires a lot of contractors to do less obviously intelligence-related tasks. What are the potential problems that Lowenthal observes with regard to conducting background checks on contractors? Um, obviously, cost is one of them. One of the ways that the U.S. created such a formidable intelligence penetrating capability is through the exploitation of SIGINT, through the National Security Agency. What was the Venona project? What did the Venona intercepts contribute to U.S. counterintelligence? What were some of the major successes of Venona during the Cold War? To me, one of the most interesting aspects of counterintelligence is that even when double agents are discovered, they're rarely just taken out of action. You don't just arrest them, right? A lot of times you let them stay in place, you feed them things, and then you see, what they're doing and how they're reacting. Lowenthal suggests that there are games within games that intelligence agencies can play on their rivals once a mole has been identified. What can the intelligence community do to known double agents as weapons against the nation that turned the agent in the first place? Why is counterintelligence such a source of tension between the FBI and the CIA? We know they have other kinds of conflicts, but why is counterintelligence such a source of problems? The basic impulse for the intelligence agency managers is to believe their people are loyal, right? How should managers resist the temptation to preemptively absolve their people and then claim, oh, it's the other guys. The other guys are dirty, right? This is the sort of thing that enabled Kim Philby to get so high up within MI5 and to stay in his perch for so long. Gladwell contends that he very nearly made it to the top, to the leadership of MI5. How do managers maintain a decent balance between loyalty to staff and debilitating paranoia? What sort of lessons can we draw from the Wen-Ho Lee case? Do you think, based on what you know or can learn, that Wen-Ho Lee was guilty? What's the basis for your judgment? Another counterintelligence issue is damage assessment, right? Any intelligence agency of a nation worth penetrating will be penetrated. What are the important issues surrounding damage assessment? What kinds of challenges do counterintelligence agents face in damage assessment? One final issue that I want to talk about is gray mail. As the Wen-Ho Lee case suggests, successful prosecutions of alleged double agents can become a real headache for the intelligence community. What kinds of leverage can suspects employ to avoid successful prosecution? How do courts usually handle these kinds of delicate matters? What kind of new rules has Congress passed to try and shield secrets? How do you think the intelligence community would generally prefer to handle potential instances of gray mail? All right. Hopefully I've given you plenty to discuss. As always, get your initial posts in by midnight of Tuesday. If you want to get an A for the weekly assignment, you need to make at least 4+ good substantive posts distributed over the course of the week. And again, don't just agree with one another. Let's engage. You don't have to fight, but let's be good critical thinkers. Let's have a good discussion.